I'm going to start podcasting with no socks on like you.
Should do that.
We'll let the toes breathe.
That's great. It's fantastic. Just make sure your feet have had some chance to breathe before you take the socks off when we start podcasting.
There's not much sweating in my job, so you don't got to worry.
Good. That's good. My feet probably smell worse than yours do right now. They're just way down there, though, so that's good. They're not really close to you.
You've probably been walking around in the dirt all day, that's why.
Yeah, that's what I do all day.
You like to feel the ground underneath those toes.
I like to walk the earth. You know, like Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction. How he just wanted to walk the earth.
It's a double royale with cheese.
Double royale with cheese. Hi, I'm Nick.
And I'm Josh.
And this is the PUDs Podcast. All right, man. So what's up?
What's up, buddy?
This is PUDs Podcast episode 9.
We're going to lose track eventually, right?
I think I probably keep better track because I upload them and I see which one it was when we upload it. So.
You got a tally mark. You got a tally mark tattoo every time we do an episode.
Yeah, just every single time. Just like,
tally it up.
Oh, shit.
You going to get the PUDs tattoo?
I don't know.
That would be so ridiculous.
I don't know, man. I feel like that'd be... There's things like, I think the stickers and stuff, even when you got those, I was like, well, that was a present to you. It's not like you were going to go out. When you were looking at t-shirts, I was a little bit, I feel like it's a little bit too soon, but it'd be kind of funny though if we just both went out and got like matching tattoos.
Just the logo. Logo.
Yeah, just literally like on our forearms, like somewhere super prominent.
I'm going to do it. Back left shoulder.
We could do those like temporary fake ones. We should do that. We got to cut that out though. And just like, and make Ash and Mel think that we actually did that. That'd probably be pretty funny. Just disappear
for like 8 hours and then be like, all right, guys, we're back.
Be like,
we got tattoos.
We drove down to the Cape, found a bar, and got some matching PUDs Podcast tattoos.
They'd be on board.
Cool. Oh, I'm already liking how this mic's sounding. So
that mic's beautiful.
So yeah, I think we're gonna have to get another one. So for everybody listening out there, I got a brand new Shure SM7B. That's a pretty well-known microphone used for vocal recording and podcasting, especially nowadays. Nice dynamic mic that doesn't pick up as much background noise. For example, like my daughter crying in the background and having a blast.
She's loving it.
Oh yeah, she's having a good day.
She wouldn't let me pick her up.
No, she had stuff to do. She gives you a look sometimes like you need to put me down.
She snubbed me.
Yeah. She didn't cry or anything. She just snubbed you a little bit.
Oh, she just gives me the double stiff arm and the legs.
She's like
starts squirming away.
Uncle Josh, I gotta go play with my doll. I know you're excited to see me, but I'm kind of in the middle of something right now.
That's funny, dude. What'd you get up to this week?
Let's see. Nothing too much crazy. Just 4th of July stuff. Yeah. Kind of just hung out on the 4th. Had some cousins up from Florida on Wednesday night and went over to my mom's. So that was cool. Shout out to my cousin Derek, who I don't think knows about this podcast yet. I probably should shoot it.
Come on, Derek.
Yeah, and my cousin Matt and their kids. So Derek lives down in Florida and has for a while. So it was good to see some family.
Nice.
They all got kids now that are getting really big. My mom made a bunch of food and it was a fun time to catch up and see everybody.
Did she make the red chowder?
No, she didn't do it. No, we didn't do any chowder. She just did some calzones on the 5th and stuff. And actually, my cousin Matt had leftover seafood that one of his friends brought to his house on the 4th. So we had some really nice sea scallops and like quahogs and stuff.
Nice.
What'd you call him? Kind of a nice surprise.
What'd you call him?
A quahog.
Quahog?
A quahog.
Quahog?
Quahog.
That's the Rhode Island way to say it. Just call it a stuffy like every other Rhode Islander.
It wasn't a stuffy though. It was a quahog that was just steamed.
What's it? Oh, it was just a steamed quahog?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I don't think I've had a steamed quahog.
Little linguiça and stuff in there.
That's a stuffy, no?
No, but I'm saying it was like a boil. So basically, it was a pan.
It was a
pan. Yeah, but it was in like a pan.
Okay.
So we just kind of threw it in the oven and did that.
Yeah, we used to go to your house like every 4th of July for like 5 years, I think 6 years.
Yeah, pretty much. I gotta try to bring that back or do something. But yeah, when my dad was around, it was like a huge thing. Did clam cakes, chowder, light fireworks off.
Oh yeah.
I almost bought fireworks actually to do here just in like East Providence, but then I remembered that we lived down the street from the police and fire station.
Yeah.
And it probably wouldn't be the greatest idea.
Oh yeah. Oh, are they illegal in Rhode Island?
They're legal in Rhode Island, but you can't buy like the full out ones that shoot up in the sky. There's like a limit. Massachusetts, they're
fully illegal.
Yeah, they're completely illegal.
Yeah.
You can't even have like sparklers in Massachusetts, which I think is ridiculous.
So for those of you listening, we're recording this after the 4th of July.
Yeah.
And it rained like most of the day.
Yeah, it wasn't a great day.
Yeah. We found that sweet spot,
Weather-wise.
It was like from like 12 to like 3, it didn't rain. So I got to go out and cook on the grill. It was like a perfect 4th of July, in my opinion.
Nice.
We woke up, went out for breakfast, came back home, chilled out for a little bit. And next thing you know, like the sun came out. And I'm like, oh, yeah, let's go. We're going outside.
Yeah, that's good.
Got to cook on the grill and then ate. And then next thing you know, it's raining. You're back inside and laying in bed.
Yeah, it actually like hailed and thundered here.
Did
too.
it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was nice though. Like you were saying, it was kind of cool. Like usually I'm not used to just being around our house on the 4th with like nothing to really do.
Right.
We just kind of chilled out and did some stuff. And then we did go for a short walk. And like you were saying, that time span of like 12 to 3, it wasn't too bad outside. Yeah. Got out for a walk and then, I ended up cooking inside because like the heavens opened up. I was actually thinking of brewing beer too because I hadn't in a while and I have some new kits, but it would not have been good if it rained like 3 inches of rain and whatever I was brewing outside.
Yeah, no, that when it changed like quickly.
Yeah,
like it started.
It was like sunny and then it looked like it was nighttime out.
Yeah, my sister-in-law and brother-in-law were there, and they were like waiting to go to another party. And they just they end up staying for like an hour and a half longer than they wanted to just because they were waiting for the rain to stop. Oh, yeah. It just never stopped.
Yeah, it was definitely like heavy enough where I wouldn't have particularly wanted to be out like driving in it or something.
Yeah.
It was torrential.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah.
But let's get into the scramble.
Yeah, that sounds good. Let's do it.
So I got a little rant.
And actually so much so that you started to get into it and then you're like, you probably should save it for the podcast because we want it to be fresh.
Yeah.
We want it to be fresh.
I want the people to hear me. Yeah. And I want the Red Sox to hear me, okay?
Yeah. And we mean the entire organization,
yes.
not just specifically the teams.
Yep. Ownership, management, all of them. Like, so we went to the Red Sox game on Sunday. All right. Whatever. It's regular day. It was warm. Fine. Like, you know what to expect going to a Red Sox game. Like, you know the food's going to be overpriced, all that stuff. I understand all of that, okay? But this was a special event that the Red Sox were putting on. It was Youth Sports Day. So my son's Little League, like the entire Little League got to go. And so across the state, it was just a bunch of Little League kids and things like that, summer camps and all that at this Red Sox game. Great. Love it. Because the one thing baseball is trying to do is bring back the youth into the sport. It's a dying sport everybody's talking about, and they're trying to make all these changes. And then, so days like this, to bring the youth in and get them like to experience baseball games, I'm all for it. Great. But the park experience was terrible. It was the worst baseball park experience I've ever had. And I've been to Fenway multiple times. I've been there with my parents when I was younger. I've been there with Melissa when before we even got married. We went there with her parents and stuff like that. So I've been there enough times to know what the park is like, and like
and usually it's a good experience. Like, it's a baseball game, like you said, you know what to expect. It's a small stadium,
and I love baseball. I love baseball. I loved playing baseball. I love watching baseball.
I very much enjoy watching it as well.
It's a very intricate sport, but so the experience itself though was terrible. Like, the game was fine. Our seats, like the location of the seats were fine, but. So we went, obviously, me, Melissa, and Jeremiah. And Jeremiah's 4 years old. And so it's a bunch of little league age kids, T-ball age kids from 4 to 12 or whatever, running around this ballpark. We go to the concession stand. So we get 4 hot dogs. We get 3 drinks. We get a thing of popcorn that came in like a helmet. And the lady just starts handing them to me. And I'm like, there's no box? Like, you don't have a box for this or like a tray for the drinks? And she's like, no, we don't have any.
And you're like, what do you think? I'm a freaking octopus?
Yeah. So I'm trying to carry 4 hot dogs, like those three drinks, the popcorn helmet, like, so I had to give like one of the drinks to my son, like, carry this, hoping that he doesn't spill it because it costs $25 for that drink. No ice in the drinks, by the way, too. They didn't have any ice.
Man.
Like, no condiments for the hot dogs. They didn't have no condiments. And
How did they not have any condiments?
I have no idea, dude.
They didn't have like a little table. They have a table.
Yeah,
there.
but
they were just out.
Yeah, they were just out.
That sucks.
So
that shitty ketchup that
terrible,
I ranted about earlier.
Terrible, dude. The straws that are too small for the cup, so you can't even use the straw. Like, so my wife's carrying like 2 hot dogs. I'm carrying 2 hot dogs and a helmet of popcorn and a drink, and my son's carrying a drink. And we gotta walk up. We're sitting in the bleachers. We gotta walk all the way up to row 33 in the bleachers. So I'm spilling like lemonade all over myself, dude. Like, I'm trying. My son can't hold his drink.
All sticky.
Yeah, I'm all sticky, and then I get to the seats, and you got to shimmy past all these people with all this stuff.
Yeah,
and then
I always find at Fenway too a lot of times. When me and my mom went, I had this kind of experience. But there's people that love to watch the game.
Yeah.
And like me and my mom are really into it and paying attention. There's people, like, I swear to God, they just get up every 2 minutes to like get drinks and
I can guarantee
whatnot.
you. And this is I'll get into this in a minute, but no, like, a majority of those people are not there for the game. But so I shimmy into the row, and then now I got to get my son situated, but I got nowhere to put these 4 hot dogs because I can't put them on the ground because I don't have a box to put them in, so I can't just lay these hot dogs in their little tiny wrapper.
Make sure they don't tip over and get on the pavement.
So I'm like trying to maneuver this, and we get to the seats, and then as soon as my son sits down, I gotta pee, and I'm like, you can't pee because I got nowhere to put this food, so you have to sit here and eat your hot dogs, and then we'll figure out what we're gonna do. And then so that's the first thing. Strike 1 for them. Strike 2. Melissa has celiac disease, so she can't eat gluten. They have one place in the park that offers gluten free.
There's only one in the entire park? That's crazy.
Only one place in the entire...
I'm surprised, especially it being in Boston, you'd think.
Yeah. Especially all the money that you got to pay to be there and that you pay for this food. Like,
it's not uncommon. It's becoming more... Well, I should say it's not that it's becoming more common, but it's becoming better diagnosed these days.
Right. And I get it. You don't have to have every stand have gluten-free stuff and stuff like that. But she goes to the one gluten-free place that they have for gluten-free bread and stuff like that, and they don't have any. So she has to get a regular burger. She has to scrape off the bun, take the bun off, and then the bun sticks to the cheese, so she got to scrape off the cheese. She's got to eat this pathetic burger, dude. Like, so, and then she has to find her way all the way back.
You're a good sport, Mel.
Oh.
You're a good sport.
Yeah. She had to go, and it was on the opposite side of the stadium, so she had to walk all the way across to get there and all the way back. And then, so, whatever. Then we're sitting and watching the game, and like I said, the game's fine. And then my son starts getting a little restless, so we're like, all right, let's go get some ice cream and whatever. And they have a little kids section that has like little different activities for the kids. So we go there, and Wally's there. Wally the big green monster. And of course, he wants to take a picture with Wally. So there's a line for Wally, and he waits in the line, and then he's like...
I'm surprised you didn't have to pay to wait in line to take a picture with Wally.
Dude, I'm surprised, too. I'm glad they don't, because then he's the second in the line, and then he just walks away. Wally just walks away.
Dude, what the hell, man?
So my son gets snubbed by Wally, dude. So now it's like...
It's a great experience for a young child.
So now he's like disappointed.
And that's his first time he's ever been to Fenway, right?
It's his first Fenway Park experience.
That's a bummer.
And it stinks. Like, it sucked. It sucked. So...
Damn, dude.
Red Sox, you need to be better. You need to understand that, like, you want families to come to your ballpark, make it family friendly so that when I go there with my 4-year-old son or people, imagine a family of 6 or whatever that has like all these kids, like, especially if they're younger and I can't tell my son, hey, carry all this stuff. Like, he's going to drop something and there goes $20 down the drain on that hot dog I just bought. So, like, understand your environment. Understand that you're going to have families going to your ballpark. And this will go into my other point is, like I said before, baseball's a dying sport. Nobody's watching baseball on TV. People are not going to games, things like that. And if you want them to go there, this is how you do it. You want families to go there, make it enjoyable for the families, make it easier for me to get my family situated and take care of business and be able to at least get to my seat, like, without having to struggle to get there, carrying all the food that I bought.
Yeah, I mean, really, I feel like if they just had the cardboard or phone boxes or whatever, like
anything, that would have made my experience a million times better.
Yeah.
A million times better. But what I think is what's happening with these places is it's not about the game anymore. It's about the experience.
Yeah, it's like an event.
It's like that you just get to go out and drink outside because they have all these different like little bars everywhere that people can stand, watch the game. You can look out over the seats and watch the game, have your drinks or whatever. And like that's what a majority of people are doing. But I'm not going to do that with my 4-year-old. Like, so it's catered to that experience.
Yeah, I mean, and that's probably that's where they're making the most money. But to your point of like, if you want to cater to this younger generation of fans and you want these people to be coming back when they're in their 20s and they're drinking and buying more stuff themselves, like I don't get it.
Yeah.
It reminded me, like, I went not that long ago with my mom and I thought maybe it was just because of a doubleheader, but like they were like running out of food in like the 5th or 6th inning, like, which was just kind of weird. Like,
it's crazy. Literally
no hot dogs, like stuff like that. I'm like, this is weird. Like, but I don't know. Maybe there's. I mean, I do have a theory that they're mismanaging, but maybe too with like just economic times, they're really trying to put it on the people and just not buying as much stuff,
and that's fine.
Which is great, but it's like don't cut so much that you're giving people a really negative experience.
Right. Don't cut so much that I can't get a cardboard box.
Yeah, like you need to be able to give someone something to take like 6 different items back. Like it's not that unusual,
right? To
take like a family, like you like a family with 1 kid, like you're gonna have like 3 hot dogs and like a thing of popcorn and some drinks. Like that's not.
Or just let me bring my own food. Let me bring my own food in the park then.
Yeah.
Because then I won't spend the $80 for all that stuff. I'll just bring my own food in and pack it up so that I can carry it to my seat. Like it's ridiculous. So yeah, it's unfortunate because like I said, I do love baseball, but it's unfortunate that was my son's first experience because who knows what he took away from it. But he got his little I bought him a little Wally. Little stuffed animal, so maybe that was good enough. But yeah, nice. Got anything for the scramble?
Let's see. I mean, I was gonna chat a little bit about. So, like, I mean, I didn't do too much after the 4th, and we did kind of a quiet weekend. But I am getting ready to go up to Vermont next week on vacation for a week, so pretty stoked. Sweet. Yeah, me and Ash are going to be looking to bag our last 2 Vermont 4,000 footers that we've got, Ellen and Abraham. And coincidentally, the place my aunt got, and she found it totally by herself before I talked to her, is like right near the trailhead for it.
That's awesome.
And it looks like there's just some nice family trails to do. Like we want to take out Ryland again and stuff. Yeah. And it comes after that. Vermont just got a real large amount of rain.
Yeah.
I actually saw. I think Biden declared a state of emergency actually for the state of Vermont for certain areas. Like Montpelier was like. Really? Seriously flooded, like most rain that they've gotten in a short span of time and quite some time, if ever.
Yeah. Melissa sent me that article today about the flooding and like how several major roads are flooded, and I was like,
like even like 89, I guess it reopened today, but like parts of 89 were closed, even like the interstate up there, and I think 100 had parts closed, and I'm sure there's still things closed. That's Selfishly, I'm hoping it will be fine. I don't think like anybody died or anything, but certainly some businesses and stuff. I think it's going to probably be doing millions of dollars of damage.
That's crazy.
Or have done millions of dollars
for some
damage.
Rain. For like not even a hurricane or anything like that, just heavy rain.
Yeah, just really heavy rain. I mean, it came through here too. We got pretty dumped on for a bit. I think we got a couple inches over here, but nothing like 9 or 10 inches of rain
down roads
in like 48 hours or whatever it was. Yeah, not shutting down roads. So yeah, we're gearing up for that. Hopefully, be taking some more videos and stuff as well. And the weather's looking nice. Fingers crossed. Weatherman Nick's been keeping an eye on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and hopefully get out golfing over there. Sugar Bush, it looks like they have a pretty nice golf course. Nice. I drag my uncle out with me and make him be a DD and give him a couple beers. Something like that.
He'll enjoy that.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll have fun. Yeah. Especially if it's a gas cart.
Oh,
he'll be buzzing around.
Rip it
buzzing around.
Rip it
up.
But
yeah, that's about it, man. So you want to get into the main topic?
Let's get into it.
Let you introduce the main topic. We've been kicking this one around too. I think again we're definitely gonna have some guests here and there, but we're just trying to continually come up with new stuff to talk about that we love.
Yeah. And one of the big things that we both enjoy very much is music. And I think most people enjoy music, but you yourself, you are a musician. Like you
could say that.
Yeah, you had your own band and you played shows and things like that. So music impacted your life in a big way. And I mean, everybody loves music, no matter who you are. Like even if it's just one song.
Yeah, it's such a universal thing, literally.
Yeah,
it's cool.
It's just something about it. And the way I experience music, I'll be honest, is I don't know if it's the same for everybody, because I have like such a very like eclectic taste of music. Like I don't just like one genre, or I'm not an album guy. Like I couldn't probably name 5 albums, like, because I just enjoy like music that gives me like an emotional like reaction, a connection. Like, so it really doesn't matter who it is, what it is. Like there's just a feeling that I get when I listen to a song and I'm like, yeah, I really like this song. And then I'll just play it for the rest of my life and like keep it on my playlist like forever. So like, that's just the way. I don't know if everybody experiences music that way, but that's just like, because it can be the hardest hardcore heavy metal screamo music, or it can be like a jingle from like a commercial. If I like the song, like, and it connects with me in some way, then I'll keep that on my playlist.
Yeah, it's always interesting because a lot of people definitely just like one genre of music.
Yeah,
which I've never really been like that.
Yeah,
I don't think I mean, my dad was super huge into music too. Like if you still walk in the living room at my mom's house and my parents' house, because my dad passed away a while back.
Yeah.
But there's still just like nice audiophile speakers and the turntable, and he must have had like that. He probably has a couple thousand albums.
Dude, yeah.
Or I guess they're my and mom's albums now.
Yeah.
But yeah, just from jazz to classic rock to he grew up in the 70s, so tons of 70s artists from America to Yes to Led Zeppelin, God, Creedence,
dude, everything.
Pink Floyd. So any of those sort of, and probably any normal rock band you could think of. He had a lot of weird British rock that like bands you probably never heard of again. But he always he listened to jazz a lot. Some classical stuff, so it's like I always grew up with my dad, like literally always had music playing, always all the time, like especially on the weekend, like that was just what we did.
We talked about earlier, like we would go over there for 4th of July.
Oh yeah, we'd always end up listening to music at the end of the night.
Oh yeah, and then once Jeremiah was born, like, and he would go and play around in that living room, dude, and I would get so nervous because he has no control over his body, and I'm like, don't break the records, dude. There's so many. Relax. You just sit down.
Like,
just
don't
sit down
trip over anything.
Yeah,
please.
Yeah, it was a quite an impressive collection that your dad had.
Yeah, I want to still set up just like listening nights over there again. I mean, I've got some speakers and stuff in here now. I haven't done as many. I've got a meager amount of albums compared to that.
For sure.
Yeah, it's interesting you were saying how you experience music. I mean, I think too. I played saxophone kind of in band in middle school and high school.
So I actually played saxophone too in elementary school.
That's right. I remember you saying that.
Yeah, and then like over that summer from elementary school going into middle school, like I completely forgot how to play.
I just totally forgot.
I also went to sleepaway camp that summer, so I wonder if something happened that I can't remember. I did sleepwalk into the middle of the woods though. That was pretty crazy.
Do you want to go into that now, or you want to save?
Yeah. I don't know if I've told you this story.
You've told me this story before, but yeah, let's take a brief tangential.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But so I was it was going into middle school. I went away it was a sleepaway camp in New Hampshire, and so I slept walk throughout my childhood, and so away at camp I ended up sleepwalking into the middle of the woods. And then I woke up in the middle of the woods. It's
so scary.
Dude, that was the most terrifying experience that I've probably ever had in my entire life. So I woke up in the middle of the woods, and I have no fucking idea where I am. So I'm like completely like shitting myself.
How old were you?
I was probably like 13 maybe.
Yeah, okay.
14.
Yeah, I know you said, going into middle school.
Yeah, right around, maybe 12
school.
or 13. Yeah. So... yeah, probably 12 or 13. So, and it's pitch black. so I'm just start screaming, "Somebody help me! Somebody help me!" And I see a light like way off in the middle of the trees. So I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna start walking towards that light and whatever's out there. Like, I completely forgot where I was because like I was in so much shock. I'm like, I'm in the middle of the woods. I have no idea how I got here. Like, I'm gonna go to, hopefully that light is like a house or like a road with a light post or something like that. So, and I'm barefoot. Like, I got no shirt on.
It gets better and better.
Yeah, I'm just in shorts, barefoot, like walking.
I wish for the sake of the story that you had no pants on, but
that'd be awesome. Yeah. But
I don't know where they went.
It's weird. Then I would be questioning like if something truly traumatic.
Yeah, actually that probably wouldn't be a good idea now that I think about it.
Yeah. So I'm walking, I fall down like this small hill. My like big rock completely like hits me in my gut and chest. And I'm like, like out of breath, dude. And I finally make it. Like, I keep walking and walking, like cut up by trees and rocks and crap. And I make it. And it was like the bathroom for the camp. That's what the light was. So I just sat there.
At least you didn't go that far.
No, I just sat there until somebody came and got me. And then they came and got me. And they were like, "We heard you screaming." I'm like, yeah, like, just help me get back to my bed. Like, I don't know.
And that's how you completely forgot how to play the saxophone.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, that was a tangent. But yeah, so I played saxophone too. So, cool. But yeah, that's.
Yeah, I played sax. I mean, I played alto. I played tenor, baritone. I played all the different school instruments and stuff through high school.
When did you start getting into the guitar?
Probably 13 or 14-ish. Yeah. I think I had a guitar before that, but I was probably like 10 or 11 when I got my first guitar from one of my uncles. It was like an older one. But I never sat down and actually gave it the due diligence and time to actually feel yourself improving. And it's funny because I've had, I won't name any specific names, but I've had several of my friends, maybe close to 10 even over the years, been like, "Oh, you should teach me how to play guitar." And people vastly underestimate. It's probably like learning, I'd equate it to like maybe learning how to skateboard or any like really awkward sort of sport activity, or like it's just, or golfing for that matter. Like it's very difficult and time consuming. And I think as an adult, it's number one, time is just, it's a big time commitment. Right. To feel yourself, and your fingers, especially if you start playing acoustic, your fingers need to get calloused. It physically hurts your fingers to play, like besides the weird sort of dexterity it takes to do chords and stuff like that. Right. I mean, I noticed if I'd go like a month, which probably hasn't never happened, but a month or two without playing, like I'm sure would notice dexterity. I can notice to when I was probably like 25, 26 playing guitar, like I'll listen to solos I could play back then, or things I used to do, and I'm like, yeah, I definitely was a little bit better. I mean, there's probably certain things I could do better now, playing acoustic a little bit more. I'm certainly better playing and singing things at the same time, being able to do weird riffs and things like that. Yeah. But yeah, it's something you got to keep up with, and I think that's probably the biggest hump for people. If you are out there and you want to learn how to play guitar, by all means, like I love playing guitar. I have like 4 guitars. Been doing it for probably almost 20 years now, which is kind of crazy to think I've been playing guitar. But yeah, it's not easy to just pick up. It's a physical instrument, not like you're breathing a lot, but your fingers, the weird chords, and it's kind of crazy though how your brain can adapt and remember things and chord shapes and everything like that. It's because
muscle memory at some point.
Yeah, and I mean, and I did have a guitar teacher for a little bit, and I took music theory in high school. I was a music major in college originally, and Rick at the time at Rhode Island College, it seemed like everybody was incredibly snobby, which maybe it was just me being young and being arrogant and stuff. But I remember getting a really good score on the entry level music theory test, and they're like, "You still need to take music theory 1." I'm like, I took up to theory 3 in high school. Like I literally had taken 3 years of music theory with a good, what I can, shout out to Ms. Alves G, who was my chorus teacher and music theory teacher, but she really got us interested into it and really taught us a lot too. Like I aced the entry level exam, and they're like, "You still need to do this," and I'm like, "This seems like bullshit."
Then what's the point of the exam, dude?
Yeah, exactly. And I just wasn't feeling it much, and ended up in computer science eventually. But,
yeah, it's tough too, because like, what are you gonna do?
I was probably kind of, I mean, everybody's kind of an asshole when you're like 20 years old or 21 to a degree. I think you know everything when you get out of high school, or at least a lot of people do. I definitely fell into that a little bit. Like, you think everything's easy, and right, you constantly get cut down pretty quick by the real world.
Oh, those days.
Yeah.
when you're on top of the world.
Yeah.
You know everything. Those days are great. And then life comes at you hard.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, it does.
But every friend that I know that plays guitar, like they've all told me the same thing. Like it's gonna hurt. Like you're gonna callous your fingers. Like it takes a lot of dexterity. It sounds like a lot of you guys started around the same time. Like
yeah, I think to start. I mean, if you can start when you're a young kid, that's like anything for that matter. Like language, anything like that. Like I think there's a certain quality where your brain's like a sponge, and there's stuff that you just can do easily.
I think too, you have the free time. Like when you're 13,
time is such a big thing. Yeah, like I could just sit in my room and dick around on a guitar hours on end, like relearning like different riffs and things that I liked. I think Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix was like the first guitar riff I ever learned. And I had uploaded a video recently, but for real, like I was obsessed with the Smashing Pumpkins in high school. Yeah. Obsessed.
I love that.
And video. I still love the Smashing Pumpkins. I go on kicks where I just listen to them a bunch. But yeah, I did that cover in 1979, but I probably learned that when I was like 15 or 16. Really? And I remember being very impressed. I'm like, I can sing this and play this at the same time. Like it didn't make sense. I think I learned like Tonight by the Smashing Pumpkins and probably a couple other easy songs. And that was like one of the ones where I'm like, oh, this sounds good. Like I like how this sounds. I also was singing like Billy Corgan, which was not good.
You've known this song all this time.
Yeah.
And you've never played it. Like
occasionally. It's
no,
weird.
You've never played it. You don't. Hold on.
Not in front of you.
Yeah,
maybe.
Every time that you've played the guitar, I've
certainly played it many times.
You've played the guitar so many times, and we've like sung together and things like that. And you've never played that song, and that's like such a great song. Like I love that song.
It's a fantastic song. 1979 is just a great song. Yeah. But yeah, it's one of those that I learned. I remember I'm like, oh, like I was impressed with myself that I was able to sing that. But yeah, like I remember one thing too. I'll listen to recordings I still have myself when I was like 16 or 17, and like cause I sang like Billy Corgan a lot, which was like not great probably in the long run for how I sang, because I'd be like 1979. Like now I actually sing it, it's more like it sounds like how I sound. Right. It's not quite as whiny. I have a sort of a whiny voice sometimes, and that's just I think how you sound and who my influences were. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of funny to listen to old stuff. But
can't believe you've been holding out on me.
I'm sorry.
Can't believe.
Do you want a private showing? So
I guess so I had an idea for this to like make your mixtape of like your 2000s, like your formidable years. Yeah. Like because we all know 90s kids, like we grew up. I got all my music from LimeWire. Like I downloaded so many viruses,
and then there was FrostWire and Napster. I mean, I feel like was like I knew about it, but I feel like by the time like when I would have and my friends would have started downloading music, there was like another one called like WinRAR or something like Winamp. Yeah, I had that too. That was like a torrent. Though I mean, I don't know if that. Like, I remember you could do movies and stuff on that. It'd be like dial-up. Yeah. Josh, I meant studio movies.
Yeah, definitely the studio movies. I hope my mom doesn't watch this. Oh, my God. I'd hide those movies real good.
Josh was like, it took me like 3 days. Finally, it's done.
Finally.
5-minute clip.
Oh, it's a fake.
Damn it.
Oh, man. But, yeah, a lot of viruses on the computer from LimeWire, and that's like where we got all our music. Statute of limitations, you can't come get us for it. It's already, but yeah, a lot of pirated music back in the day. But I kind of came up with a list of like the music that I was listening to in the 2000s, like throughout those formidable years. I think it's going to be very different than your list, and I thought it would be kind of good to like compare and contrast.
I wanted to do like one precursor question too. Like, what was like the first song or album like you went out and got by yourself? Like, do you remember like as a teenager, like the song that like that woke you up, so to speak, to be like, yep, it was. I love this. This is for me.
The first album I ever bought was Ludacris, Word of Mouth.
Nice.
That was the first, because I love Rollout. Like that was like one of my favorite songs. Yeah. So. That was the first album that I ever got, and I'm honest. Like I haven't bought many CDs, like even cassette tapes, like
which are like coming back for some reason because Gen Z is like, let's get cassette tapes. These are great. You know why nobody buys them anymore? Because they don't work after a while. Anyways, that's my.
They stink. But yeah,
vinyl and digital, baby.
my parents would listen to a lot of cassettes. Like my mother would, like she had like old like Cher cassettes, so she loved like Britney Spears and NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. After love. Yeah. So there was a lot of that going on. My father, he listened to a lot of old school hip hop. He listened to a lot of R&B, like Earth, Wind and Fire. He listened to the Doobie Brothers. He listened to Tavares, the Temptations, like the old Motown sound.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that. But that like once I'm like in middle school, high school area, like that it's all hip hop and rap and R&B for me at that point. And like that was my entire childhood, like was that culture. That culture, like when I was growing up, was huge. Like rap hip hop culture was huge, and like there was even like
some would say debatably a lot better than it is nowadays.
I would say
I think from like Biggie and Tupac all the way up to the mid. I mean, we're absolutely biased.
Oh yeah, Wu-Tang Clan.
I just don't. Yeah, there's like no new rap I like. Maybe someone just needs to turn me on. Eminem, like I'll do.
Yeah,
like,
but he's not.
Yeah.
Even,
anyways, he's not. There's nobody new I should say that I've ever listened to.
I'm really a big. I like Post Malone a lot.
Yeah, I'm not a huge rap fan, but I do like. Yeah. I do like rap. Like you will find like Outkast like Gemini.
Yeah.
I forget whatever the hell that album is. I've listened to that like hundreds of times.
Yeah. But yeah, so once it was those days, like I would burn like so many CDs. Once I would download my music and burn so many CDs. So I'm gonna share kind of.
Let's hear this. I'm excited.
So, and to start this off, I loved Southern rap. Like I love that slowed down, like chopped and screwed Southern rap. So, I put together a list of. Basically, if I was making a 12 track CD in the 2000s, like this is what I would have had on it. So, Slim Thug, it was Slim Thug, Paul Wall, and Mike Jones, Still Tipping. Paul Wall, Sitting Sideways. Outkast, Hey Ya. Kanye West, Homecoming, off of his Graduation album, which that's probably the second album I bought.
It's before he went. Crazy.
Before he got weird. Lupe Fiasco, Kick Push. I love those.
That's a good song.
I love those, like, those backpack rappers. I think we called them back in the day. Like, I love those guys that were very lyrical, and Lupe was one of them. 50 Cent in the Game, Hate It or Love It. Dr. Dre, Still D.R.E. Eminem, Lose Yourself. Usher, Yeah. Jay-Z, Lost Ones. And then Linkin Park in the end, and I love Fall Out Boy for some reason. So Fall Out Boy, Sugar, We're Going Down. Yeah. So that's kind of a little taste of, and I'm sure there's a few of those that you don't even know who those people are, but there's going to be a few that you're going to say that I'm going to have no idea. But
I'll have you count out, so I'll try to keep it even with 12 in the early 2000s, but I'll try to, like, you got to just keep count.
Okay.
And some of my shit, so like back to that, I was asking you like your first album you bought. The first two albums I remember I bought vividly were a Jimi Hendrix Greatest Hits.
Okay.
Those two discs. One was live, one was studio. And then the other album was The Artist in the Ambulance by Thrice, which was another punk, not metal, but some of their stuff's definitely scream and stuff.
Yeah.
Then I'm still listening to them today. They're still doing new albums, but probably Stare at the Sun by Thrice was probably one of the first songs I ever heard where I'm like, this is awesome. I think it was actually in one of the SSX games back on like PlayStation or something.
The snowboarding game?
But that was like, I remember that song was probably like one of the first songs where I was like, this is fucking great. Like, I love that entire album too as well. So I'll put that as number one.
Okay.
Probably Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix would just be up there. Let me think. Another band who I finally saw recently that I really got into more in high school. I just saw them recently with Nate actually in Boston, but was Placebo.
Yeah. You just went to that concert, right?
Yeah, and the song that probably I liked by them the most that I heard first was The Bitter End. Or The Bitter End / I'd say Pure Morning's probably a pretty close tie in that one.
Yeah.
I'm not going to count that as an extra. So what is that? Three in now?
Yeah.
3 in now. We got some more. So what else in high school?
I had to write mine down.
Yeah, I know. I'm just going to try to go through them. First thing that possibly comes to mind. Voices Carry by Till Tuesday, which is like an 80s band, but that was for some reason always stuck in my head. My uncle used to cover that, and once I found out, and it's one of those weird things, like when you're a kid, like I don't think I knew what the words were to it. You always like interpret, like I used to think like Free Falling by Tom Petty was like Free Forest or something like that. So I think just as a kid, you don't know how to like understand and interpret stuff correctly.
I'm free for.
But yeah, Voices Carry by Till Tuesday. I have a cover of that up too, but I play that song a bunch. It's always just, I love Amy, man. I have a super crush on her back in the 80s. Her voice and everything is just great, and she's a really fantastic bass player and still a fantastic singer-songwriter. She's still doing stuff. So I think that's
one of my favorite ones that you played, so you know.
It's such a good, it's one of those songs like nobody thinks they know it when you say Voices Carry.
Yeah.
And then like they're like, oh yeah, and if you grew up in the 80s or the 90s or early I'm sure it's still on the radio. Yeah. Or was still on the radio in the 2000s on a lot of
It's funny
rock
how
stations.
Songs will come back around too.
Yeah.
Like, what's it? Stranger Things like has a knack for that. Yeah. Like they'll have songs in that show that'll like become hits once again, like that are 30 years old.
Yeah, what's the super popular one? That actually Placebo did a cover of that too.
From the left?
Yeah.
If I should fall and make a deal with God.
Yeah. I can't. Yeah. Oh, Running Up That Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. When I first heard that, Placebo actually did a cover of it way back, and I actually thought that was a Placebo song. So when I heard that, I was like, oh, it's an 80s song that Placebo covered.
Yeah.
So we're still standing at 4. Number 5, I'm going to probably give to, I'll say Angels of the Silences by Counting Crows. My dad got into Counting Crows in the 90s, as many people did.
Yeah.
And I'd listened to like all their discography, but that's probably one of my favorite songs, the Angels of the Silences by them.
I used to pretend that Counting Crows was Russell Crowe's band.
It's funny to imagine Russell Crowe with those dreads.
Yeah.
Like the fake dreads that he's got.
Of course, that's his band.
Yeah.
Counting Crows. Like, that's a perfect band name for him.
Yeah, like kind of going back into sort of pop punk stuff. I actually listened to one of their songs today. They weren't particularly great, but Clockwork by Autopilot Off definitely would have been on there back then. That's just sort of another punk song, but I don't think they did any of their albums other than that. I'm gonna be struggling here probably.
That's why you should have wrote them down.
Yeah, I probably should have wrote them down. I mean, I listen to a lot of Pink Floyd. I don't know. It's like you could throw any sort of Pink Floyd song out.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could really pick a favorite. Probably Time would really be up there. That'd be another album I'd listen to a bunch there. Get into some other bands too that I still really enjoy today. That are really super indie bands, but IDA. I don't even know where they're from, but they put a lot of their music in. One of a skateboarder I liked at the time when I used to skateboard, Mike Vallely, did this sort of a series, and like he'd use super indie artists probably because it was really cheap to get their music.
Yeah.
But they had some really good songs. Probably Treasure Chest by them. Be really good. I hope anybody looks up that song because Treasure Chest by Ida is a really good song, but I'm sure you can find it on Apple Music and stuff. It's nowadays.
That's 6.
Yeah, dude. It's gonna be tough. Really, I got into U2 a lot. My buddy Gerard loved the album War and used to play that a shit ton.
Yeah.
And it's weird too. I'm trying to get it. Like I feel like the high school into college kind of blends together in middle school more so than middle school. But yeah, probably U2. Probably Streets Have No Name by U2. Probably
big Bono fan.
Yeah. Yeah, I just liked it. Well, Bono, but the Edge too, like the way he plays guitar and a lot of the riffs he has on that are just super catchy. Super, super catchy. Did listen to a decent amount of Tom Petty too. Probably middle school into high school. I have no particular song that I'm even going to pick because that's just really tough for me to pick stuff. There's going to be like 50 artists that I think of after this. Red House Painters. Really liked a lot, probably 14, 15. That was another album that my dad liked called Songs for Blue Guitar by Red House Painters, which is Mark Kozelek, who's kind of a singer-songwriter that's been under a bunch of different band names. But by them, so it's actually a cover of the Cars song All Mixed Up that they do, but it's completely different than the actual studio version by the Cars. So it's just like the whole melody is different and everything. Like the lyrics are the same, but just totally different song, which is something he does a lot. Like he does a lot of like Modest Mouse covers and other songs that just kind of makes them his own entirely.
Would you say Red House Painters?
Yeah, Red House Painters.
Okay.
Yeah, Red House Painters.
I'm going to check out probably all of these because I don't know.
Yeah.
I think you've named 2 people that I know.
Yeah, Red House Painters. Gonna start breaching into probably the end of high school. Silver Sun Pickups. which I don't even, that was probably when we were still in high school, but their first album, Carnivas, came out, and I think they had an EP before that, but the song Melatonin by Silver Sun Pickups definitely would have been on there. That's still a song, also a song I know how to play.
Didn't you just cover that one?
No, I don't think I've done any videos or anything. I probably played it in front of you before. Probably. You wouldn't know it by probably the name.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, I'm just going to tail into the end of high school, almost going into college, because I just remember more specifically what I was listening to, but I wanted to see Radiohead with a friend when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And like that just like blew my mind. Like I didn't know anything by them at all, and went to the concert completely blind, and like 3 weeks later I was like buying up all their albums and everything. And they're still, I love Tom York. I have a huge man crush on Tom York. I think he's probably one of the most talented songwriters that's probably been around in the last 20 years and still kind of going around.
That's big praise.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll get some hate for that, but
Tom York,
you can come at me.
Hey, find us, because Nick's got something weird going on, so you might want to have a chat with him. Make his day. Maybe you guys can have a catch or like play something together.
Yeah, but I think he's awesome. He was super heavily influenced by Neil Young too. Yeah, and I'd listen to a lot of Neil Young, and I mean that's like a band of like my family. Like my uncle always played a ton of covers of Neil Young. So yeah, Neil Young, Radiohead. I mean, if I had to pick a Radiohead song at that time, probably like Idiotech. I was super into Idiotech. Yeah. Which was kind of like them going really weird with like, they were all trying not to play like their normal instruments when they released Kid A, which I think really, what's funny is a lot of these albums too, they came out probably in like 2001. But just finding these things in high school, which actually I'm glad though, because that reminded me of, I think I'm up to 9.
I think you're at 9 or 10.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just do like 2 more, whatever. Matter. But mentioned earlier, Smashing Pumpkins, I was obsessed with in high school, later middle school, early high school. Just loved all their songs. I got a greatest hits by them first, I remember, called Rotten Apples, and then just went and bought all their CDs after that. I'll throw 1979. It's probably my favorite song by them still. I haven't listened to much of their newer stuff. I just don't. I know I've heard it's good. Friends have told me it's good. I just haven't really listened to it as much. I think it's tough to top like an album that had like 5 or 6 singles on it. Like the album that's off of, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, is like probably one of the best rock albums of all time, I would say, or at least the 90s. Yeah. And it had 5 like number 1 singles off it, and like a bunch of others that were sort of just hits. So of course it had like 26 songs. It was like a double album, but I love that was just a monster album. And throw out REM too. Probably middle school, high school, listen to a lot of them. I mean, kind of mixing between the newer and the older stuff. Yeah. I did not listen to rap that much. I was gonna throw. I will say Linkin Park. I definitely listened to a bunch. I don't know if I'd put them on that CD though, that I listened to them. Like I was listening to them that extensively. But REM probably, like anything off the album Out of Time, probably would like. I really liked Man on the Moon too, which I think is off of Automation for the People, or Automatic for the People rather, which is another good album. But their other albums too, like my dad listened to a bunch, so I feel like I grew up hearing them and didn't really appreciate them. Yeah. And then I'm gonna throw out from my last one. I'm gonna throw out, and this came from the movie Garden State, which I'm pretty sure came out when we were teenagers. Yeah. And had a really fantastic soundtrack. And now I'm like, oh yeah, I could go all those artists and then be like a 24 track. But we'll keep it to 12. I'm just gonna keep it. We'll keep it to 12 because I want to do like college and stuff too. Yeah. But it's Imogen Heap, but the band was Frou Frou. That was off. They do that song Let Go that's in Garden State. And her album, that the copy that's right behind you actually, Frou Frou Details, is a fantastic album. It's like I really enjoy her voice. She's a fantastic singer-songwriter. But that song Let Go is just like, it's one of those songs where I feel like I listened to it so much that I actually had to like stop. Like it's a beautiful song, but I was just like, I need to step away. Like I think we covered it. There's another song, Breathe In, that's really good on that, but I'll go with Let Go by Frou Frou. And that's a pretty good mashup of all the different shit I was listening to in high school.
That was
a lot of bands of those flavors, I'd say. Yeah.
So that was like going into like, that's your adolescence. Like,
yeah, that's like
going into your teenage years and late teenage years.
Yeah, like 7th grade, 6th, 7th grade, probably through like graduating high school.
Yeah. That's like, and we talk about this a lot, like the music that we're into, even some of the ways that we were raised, like, is very different, and it's very interesting because, like, there's, like I said, there's very few of those bands that you've named that I know, but if I would hear their music now, because my music taste started to change as I got out of high school and like got into the real world, and
yeah, I feel like it always changes. I mean, I kind of started from like a coworker and good friend I started listening to like EDM probably when I was in my like mid 20s.
I love it.
Which EDM. I never really listened to EDM much, like Dead Mouse and
Knife Party.
Yeah, just all sorts of different people.
So like I said, hip hop like was like a huge portion of my childhood, my youth, going into like high school and things like that. Like, we would go to the Boys and Girls Club was across the street from my house, and they would do this hip hop festival like every year. Like, and people would go there and freestyle. There'd be graffiti, like they would do graffiti contests and stuff like that. So it was like that culture was like so huge in my youth, and like, so that was like, I didn't stray really from that until I got into like college and things like that, and a lot like REM, Counting Crows, those bands that you've named. Like, I started getting into stuff like that. I started getting into like Breaking Benjamin, All Time Low, A Day to Remember, Avenged Sevenfold.
It's amazing how many. I mean, there's like several of those you mentioned where they're coming back now. I mean, Avenged Sevenfold's kind of been kicking around the entire time, but there were so many bands that were cashed in on that pop punk. So many bands. Autopilot Off, like I mentioned, was one of those bands.
Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd never could get into Rage that much. I just feel like all their songs sound the same.
I liked Rage Against the Machine, but
they're not bad.
They're not bad.
Yeah.
Like, they're very like controversial, I guess.
That's like
especially
that's
at that time,
thing
because they're raging against the machine.
They were raging against the machine.
And then like I would get like Paramore. Like, I'm telling you, I'm all over the map, dude.
Yeah.
I'd get into like gospel music, Christian rock bands, like
Is it Switchfoot?
Switchfoot. I listen to Switchfoot. Yeah. I listen to what is it? I forget their name.
Creed.
Creed. I like Creed.
I listen to Creed too. I'm not gonna lie.
I like Creed. And what I would do too is I would go and I would like start looking up like best songs of all time. Like, I really got into the Beatles. Like, I like the Beatles.
The Beatles never caught me. I know. No. I'm gonna catch some shit for that.
Yeah, maybe you don't like music, dude.
Yeah, maybe I don't like music. No, I don't know.
You don't like.
It's another one of my parents. Both didn't listen to them too much.
Yeah.
A lot of I have some friends that really like them, but I don't have any friends that like really loved them.
Yeah.
Maybe one day there's still time. It could catch me. I never listened to Pearl Jam really until like a year or two ago.
Yeah. I don't
not like I do now.
Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
Like,
see, it could come around for you. I loved Eddie Vedder by himself, but like I finally got bitten by that. That's a pretty recent like band that I've pretty heavily gotten into.
There's like a couple Pearl Jam songs I'm like, I like these songs. Yeah. But then I'll listen to a majority of their other stuff, and I'm like, I don't really like this. So I think I don't like Pearl Jam. I just like a couple songs.
There's not too many of their albums like front to back that I'd say are like. I mean, again, I don't want to just generalize because I haven't listened to them like that much. Where I'd be comfortable saying with like Radiohead, where I'm like, this is their best album in my opinion. Like, I haven't listened to them that much, but a lot of their albums like front to back, I feel like were kind of hard to get into. I like their song their album No Code front to back a lot. I think it's pretty strong, but without fail, most of their albums have like 2 or 3 singles, pretty much on every single one, if not more, which is kind of wild.
That you could play on repeat.
Yeah. Like it's not just that Better Man was on an album. Like, there's Nothing Man on the album. There's like another hit, and like that's just how they are.
I started to shift into like that. I would add more rock into my repertoire, alternative rock for sure. Got into some screamo, got into freaking house music and EDM and dubstep and stuff like that. Like, and then I got into I liked Stained, and the lead singer of Stained went on his own, Aaron Lewis, and he became like a country singer. I don't like country music, but he has like a couple songs that I'm like, I really like.
Yeah, well, you like him though. So
yeah, I like him, and I really like his song. I like his voice. He has a good voice. But so all that kind of shifted, and then I kind of started turning away from hip hop and stuff like that, because, like we said before, it's like that was the heyday. I think like the late '90s, early 2000s for hip hop and rap, and now it's like it's just too much. Like I like Migos, I like Post Malone, like Kendrick Lamar is good. Like I like Chance the Rapper. Like there's so I still like
and you're keeping it specific to, we want to say like newer people, to like newer artists, like not like, because it's not like other people producing, like Eminem or people, because a lot of them are still doing music.
But newer artists, it's like, and it's probably every generation gets to that point, right? They're like, oh yeah, this is trash, and all the kids like now love these guys.
I don't know. I think it's funny though, because I remember like, and there's times where I'll definitely feel that way too, but I can't lie, because it's like there's newer artists, like I get, like you were saying, EDM and dub and stuff. I mean, I got into Porter Robinson pretty good like last year. That's like all straight up like EDM and some vocals and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't think, it's not like there's good music like everywhere. Like it might not be like accessible. Like you might not be taking the time to find out artists you like, but if you can't go on Apple Music and all these things or Spotify and recommend artists that are similar to other artists, which sometimes the algorithms and how they do that are awful. Like they're not the same at all. But like all the tools are there more so than ever for you to find any kind of music you want to listen to.
It's just, you just go back into
whether it's international or whatever. Yeah. And I think everybody has those songs. It's nostalgia. Like you can listen to a song and it can take you back to an exact place at an exact moment. And
I think that's a lot of my listening experiences is like, oh, this was in a movie that I love, so I love this song, and it brings nostalgia of that. Or this was in like a TV show, or I heard this one time when I was doing this, and like it brings you back. Like there's songs that I listen to with my father, and I haven't brought it up in this podcast, I don't think, but my father has passed away as well. And like there's songs that I'll listen to now that I just remember sitting like passenger seat in his car listening to with him, and it just brings back that nostalgia of like good times I had with him and stuff like that. And it's so it's like I said, the emotional connection, the emotional experience that I have. Like I'm telling you, like we talked about ASMR, and it's something that I enjoy. Like it's the tingles that you get when you do ASMR. And like, there's just some songs that'll give me like that tingle down my neck. And
and I think too that I'm gonna sound snobby too, and I am a music snob. I'll freely admit to that, or I think I'm a music snob anyways, and I think my opinion on music matters, but who knows? It doesn't really. But
the voice of the people.
But yeah, I think there are certain people who will take the time to listen to music and understand it. I think a lot of people like the quick pop songs that you listen to once and you can remember everything about it. I think that's why when you start listening to like jazz even, I'll be honest with EDM to effect too. Like when you start listening to like 15, 20 minute house songs and shit like that, like there's sometimes there's a lot going on than there appears to be on the surface.
It's art, right?
Yeah,
that's like the whole thing.
But I think when you get into stuff like, there's so many albums. Like I mean, there's artists too. Like I'd say like the National. It took me forever to really, and I'll be flat out honest. I don't really like the last album they did. I know it just came out, but I wasn't a big fan of it. I think they've kind of deviated quite a bit, and not that I want them to sound the same forever on every album. I think they've done a good job transforming their sounds. There's artists where I think they've done a fantastic job, like Radiohead. They just sounded different on like a lot of albums. Like the Beatles did that. Like so many artists do that. Like you kind of have to. But I think they just deviated so much that it's kind of lost me a little bit, and I don't like how the production's been done and how it sounds.
I find myself actually, instead of listening to newer music, I find myself going back and listening to like David Bowie. I've been listening to a lot of David Bowie's
so good.
Like
that's like such a general statement. I just said it's like, of course he's so good, Nick. He's fucking awesome.
I'm David Bowie.
Yeah, I'm David Bowie. Yeah, Ziggy Stardust, and he just has he's like another artist, man. He has so many hits, so many hit singles.
Yeah, and you brought up Neil Young before. Like I'll go back and listen to a lot of Neil Young, and then that'll take me down the road to the Eagles and Tom Petty and stuff like that. And it's like, it's fun to go down those roads. I love yacht rock, so I'll listen to
Christopher Cross.
Sailing Michael McDonald,
no. There we go. We still got it.
But yeah, so like it'll just take me down that road, and like so that's how I find music that's new to me is I'll listen to a song like on YouTube, and I'll go down, and you know how you can see like what the other suggested things are, and I'm like, oh, let me try that one, and then I'll like that song, and I'm like, all right, and I just keep going down that hole until I'm like, all right, I don't know any other songs by these people, but I love this song, so I'll just play that song till the end.
Yeah, I mean, going back to what you're saying though, I do think there's certain people who have more of an affinity to understand music than don't. I think that's definitely a big thing, and I also think it's a shame because I feel like just in general, like TikTok and a lot of those platforms have such short songs that it almost discourages from the whole album sort of idea. And I think that I feel like eventually maybe that will die and the EPs will come. I mean, bands still release albums, like it's not dead. But that whole old concept of like listening to a full side, each side of like a vinyl album and going through that, like I always feel like you should do it like having made with a band that wasn't that successful, but even having made an album ourselves and how much work goes into that, right? Like you hope people are at least giving like give it like a one-time listen through. If you don't like the rest of it, then don't listen to the songs you don't like, but like give it the one-time run through. It's
hard now to like justify for probably most people like buying an album, because you can listen to any one song that you want at any time. It's at your fingertips. Like, I mean, I guess maybe if there's a song that you like and you want to go explore like that person's track list, like, but everything's on Spotify. It's not like back in the day where you go to FYE or Strawberries and go
Newberry Comics.
Yeah, Newberry Comics, scan the little, put on the headphones, scan the album, like the
you
CD
get
you
a little sampler of it. I don't know if Newberry Comics had that. Borders had that. I remember that.
So like those things don't happen anymore. And that's hopefully maybe like the people that are into music, like you said, you have to have an affinity for music.
Yeah, and there's plenty of people who do. Like I don't want to generalize like everybody on the planet. Yeah. But I do think when you listen to new artists, like I think there's some degree though where even what we grew up listening to, like there's some new artists and like I'm sorry, it's shitty music. Like there's not a lot of thought put into it. It's super heavily produced. Like the amount of auto tuning used sometimes now is freaking insane. Yeah. Like it becomes like I feel like. And it's weird because I feel like a lot of bands now go off and do their own record labels, but a lot of the huge record labels, like they're picking out, like I'm just gonna throw like a Justin Bieber out there. Yeah. Like they pick out these people that don't know what the hell's going on because they're so young, and then they turn them into something and cash in on them, and then they're like, bye. Yeah. Like kind of.
You're not a Despacito fan? You don't like Despacito?
No. Oh my god, no.
That's what I mean. I'm not a Justin Bieber fan. I like that song. Yeah.
That's not an awful song.
You make fun of me. Like you make because we'll be out golfing and I'll sing like a super poppy pop song.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm a dick. I'm a dick with it. I'm fine with that.
No, this is the thing. Yeah. You have a passion. You have a passion for music, and you understand what it takes to create music, to create that art form. You understand the effort that it takes to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have an understanding of like a super successful person, but I have a rudimentary understanding of recording and mixing music and playing it and writing songs and setting up dates to play at clubs to kind of try to do that thing. Like
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But the line between successful and not, I think it's not like super well defined, because the same work that you put in to put out your album, I'm sure there's bands that are successful that you worked just as hard or harder than to do that, and without a team of producers and things like that to do that. So that's what I mean. I think you do have a greater understanding and appreciation for what goes into producing these albums, to producing these songs, to creating this art form that you love. That's why you love it.
Thanks,
buddy. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. But that's what I mean. So. And when we go away, like you have the playlist like that. We give you the music and we let you play it. And there's 9 times out of 10, it's something that I end up enjoying because it's good songs. It's good music. Like,
yeah, I think my mother-in-law was keen on me playing Metallica, I think, before dinner time. Yeah. I was she's like, can we put on some dinner music?
Oh yeah.
That's another band I didn't get into as much. So I think I drove up with my buddy Mike too many times going to New Hampshire with listening to Metallica, and it kind of became like, oh, like we listened to this that time, and then it's like a nostalgic thing. But I've kind of gotten to them a little bit as well, and I was like, yeah, Metallica.
Yeah. I like Metallica too. Yeah. Like, so like the big things I like The Weeknd a lot. That's like,
yeah, The Weeknd's good.
We just call him Cocaine Bruno because he's like Bruno Mars, but like if Bruno Mars only sang about doing cocaine, like that's what The Weeknd is. So we love The Weeknd. Jeremiah loves The Weeknd. Like I said, I like Post Malone. Like, so there's new artists that have things that I like, and then once it's 2 or 3 or 4 things I like, I'm like, all right, I like that person. But yeah, it's like I said, I think you have a bigger, broader understanding of like music itself, and I'm very however it makes me feel. That's.
I think you have good taste in music though. Like most stuff, there hasn't been too much stuff you've ever played or showed me where
that's because I don't play. I don't play like I don't go down.
Josh is like, I'm just afraid to play music in front of you.
Oh, definitely. I only play the things that I know that I could enjoy. Nate loves Brand New.
I was listening to Foster the People, which I know you love them too, but they released, it was like the 10th anniversary of their album.
Pumped Up Kicks?
Yeah, or maybe it just got on Apple. Yeah, Torches, I think. Or maybe I'm trying to think when that came out. Either way, I was listening to it today because it popped up. I don't know if it recently got to Apple Music or not, but that's a really good album. I could go like college. Do you want to just go off some like college age sort of artists you really got to? Okay.
One more thing I want to say.
Okay.
The telling story for me is like, so out of everybody that I've named, one of my favorite bands is the Gorillaz, and it's because every album is different. Yeah, almost every song that they do is different.
Yeah, they're great.
Like they'll go from
cross genre shit.
Yeah, like one album will be completely like a bunch of different hip hop artists. Then it'll be like this like super like indie style type.
Can I just like really brief aside? I love the intro to Plastic Beach that is Snoop Dogg on it.
Oh yeah,
it's freaking it's so good.
Knick Knack Paddywhack.
Yeah, it's just so perfect.
This is the world of the Plastic Beach. Yeah, I love Plastic Beach. And what was the one after that? I forgot what it was, but it was like I think right after Plastic Beach was like all hip hop artists, and I love that album because it has.
I can't think of the name of that one either. That's a good album. Yeah. I haven't listened to their newest album either.
Cracker Island.
Yeah, I haven't listened to that yet.
It's weird, and it's weird. Yeah. Like it's such a weird album, but it's like that's what I mean. So you can take these songs and you can bring like these famous people on these songs, and then they just give it like their own taste of their little gorilla-ness. Yeah. And then you see like I'll watch like videos of the guys that like started it, and it's like, oh yeah, this was just like a pre-setting. Like I love like that song Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, this is just like the bossa nova setting on like this Casio like keyboard.
It's like like whatever when with the intro though.
It was like boom, doom, doom. Boom,
oh, yeah, I was thinking of a different song.
Doom, doom,
yeah, yep.
Boom, doom, ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, the Gorillaz are really good.
I love the Gorillaz, but go ahead. I'm sorry. So yeah, go into your
like,
college.
Just like super bands I got to do in college. Kings of Leon, which I think was at the time was like probably just like a great rock band. I think I saw them like 6 or 7 times. I saw them when they were smaller, and then as they got bigger. Another band, not a big fan of the last couple albums they've done. I think after like.
I think that's what happens.
God, Come Around Sundown, or what? I think the album that has palm trees on. I think that's Come Around Sundown that had like Radioactive and some other shit on it. I think they fell off.
Yeah.
I think their singer got better because I think he was like had serious addiction problems.
Yeah.
But yeah, but they were just like badass live. Like they were really good, like just top of their game and stuff. I think one of the favorite things I saw at a concert ever was when best friend of the podcast Nate and me saw them at Mohegan Sun. That was like right when Only by the Night came out with like Use Somebody, which Use Somebody was a huge song. Like when we were in college, like probably freshman, sophomore age, whatever. But they didn't play the entire set, and people started leaving, and then they played like one other song in their encore. And then, like, literally the last song of the night, he was like, the dude came on, their lead singer, and he's like, this is for all those motherfuckers who left early. And they just blasted into Use Somebody. And it was like, it was one of the most epic moments.
So let's go back and forth for like college
all
years.
All right.
So huge in my college years was Blink-182.
Really?
I love Blink-182.
They're another band I never got super into. Yeah.
That's because you don't like that poppy stuff, dude.
I do like pop. But anyway, sorry, I'm not going to cut you off.
I liked Blink-182. There was a lot of their songs that I really enjoyed. We went to go see them. That concert was absolute trash, though.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I was going to say it just didn't sound good.
No, it didn't sound good.
Travis Barker was fantastic.
Yeah, a great drummer.
Yeah,
like, he's a fantastic drummer. Yeah. But my favorite drummer is Neil Peart.
Yeah, from Rush.
Yeah, from Rush. Okay. I like Rush.
Rush is like, I feel like I'm going to get into them eventually. I've listened to their albums, but it just hasn't clicked.
It's gonna one day it's going to click.
It just hasn't clicked.
I love Neil Peart. Like, I think like, and once again, I'm a very superficial music person, but listening to that guy play the drums, I'm like, that shit is like, sounds hard to do.
Yeah, yeah, you're just impressed.
Yeah. So Blink-182, chalk it up. That's one of mine.
All right. The National, I got into in college a lot more.
Yeah.
Their album Boxer was probably the first album I listened to, and I actually just liked the song Mistaken for Strangers at first, and then like legitimately didn't listen to that CD probably through like high school and college, and then like one day I was like, I'll listen to this again, and like it just clicked for that reason.
Yeah.
I've seen them, had the privilege of seeing them several times. They're just great band. Yeah, really really good at them in college. What's your next?
Rise Against.
Rise Against.
Yeah, I like Rise Against.
That's solid.
They had a lot of good songs. A lot of good songs with Rise Against. And they're not like, once again, I'm not big into their albums, but like they just had a nice consistent sound. And I think I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I like Rise Against. I saw them once.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were really good live. I'll throw back Brand New, which I only really like for people that know Brand New, their album, The Devil and God Are Raging Inside Me, which is a great album title, but from then on I like them a lot. I don't like a lot of their earlier stuff. The Devil and God, and then their album Daisy I like loved, and I always remember their last album got released that would have been when your bachelor party was. That's speaking of like memories and how music takes you back. When the first time I listened to that album, because it just came out, was driving to your bachelor party in Vermont, and I was like, this album is freaking fantastic.
I know.
Yeah, I love Brand New, and a lot of it with them is how their music is mixed and produced. Like, I just love how it sounds. Like, I think it sounds great.
I know my friend Nate, friend of the podcast, Nate Fizzle, he loves Brand New. I know that.
Loves Brand New.
He loves Brand New.
Loves Brand New. Hi, Nate.
Hi, Nate. So I think Disturbed, like I got into Disturbed, like I like them.
Disturbed a bunch.
But once again, the only reason I started listening to them is because they had their song "Down with the Sickness" is in the newer Dawn of the Dead movie.
Oh, okay.
And I loved that movie, and then I heard the song, and I just started listening to it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I like these guys.
Yeah. No, that's respectable. Disturbed was good.
We saw them too.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah, we saw it. Was that concert was awesome. It was them breaking.
Other than being unable to find anywhere to go to the bathroom at any point, because they like closed freaking Great Woods, Xfinity, whatever the hell it was at the time, like closed like the bathrooms and just had like porta potties because they were worried about people doing stuff. Like, I don't know, it was stupid.
And it wasn't even that was the concert. I think I've been to 4 or 5 concerts. I think I've been to all of them with you, actually. Maybe one I didn't go to with you. But
we saw the Eagles together.
Yeah, we saw the Eagles. But that was the concert I thought was going to get out of hand, and it was like not that bad.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't bad at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was them, Breaking Benjamin, All Time Low, and A Day to Remember. Like, that concert was like sick.
Yeah, it was a good concert.
Sick. They put on a good show.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Right, I'll throw out Circa Survive, who's Anthony Green, who actually was I don't know if you've heard of Seosin, but he was their lead singer.
I've heard of Seosin.
Then he started the band Circa Survive. I really liked them for a while, and they were another band that would have been super heavily played in my car on CDs and such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Eagles, we just talked about them. We went to their concert. I didn't like them until like you would always hear. I worked at Price Right in New Bedford, and Hotel California would come on like every shift for some reason. It
still comes on somewhere every shift, probably in this country. Like at any second, it's really playing somewhere.
I forgot where we were on set. Like we were in 3 different spots on Saturday, and Hotel California came on.
That's wild.
But I love that song, and I like
song.
I like a lot of their songs, like the Eagles, and they put on once again. They also put on another really good concert. So chalk them up, the Eagles. I like them, and I didn't get into them until I was in college.
Yeah, they're another band that just has so many freaking hits.
Yeah,
it's like unreal.
Classic.
I can keep going. I mean, at Highlight again, Radiohead, Silver Sun Pickups, still playing a ton at that point. I got into Sun Rap because my cousin Matt, but Outcast again. Is it just called Equemini? What the hell is that album's name?
Spodioki Dokalicious.
I know that's on that. Spodioki Dopalicious is on that album, but that was an album I listened to a bunch. And Outcast in general is probably one of the more like a rap geared sort of. They're like almost like some of their shit's like R&B though, like a lot of it.
I love
like,
Outkast.
I love Andre 3000. Like
Andre 3000 is my favorite rapper.
But I got into Outkast. Them a lot. Like whatever the album that has Miss Jackson on it too. I forget the name of it, but that album is really good.
I don't know.
I got into them pretty heavily.
Yeah,
I was also smoking a lot of weed. College.
So I'm probably gonna say a lot of bands that now that like have known for a long time. Like I didn't get to the Red Hot Chili Peppers until college. Like
they're another one. I think I like knew like Danny California, and we also like covered that. Yeah, but I didn't really like know them a lot. Yeah, much else besides like that album that had that song on it.
Bare Naked Ladies.
I didn't get into. I saw them live in Vermont with some of Ash's family, and they were funny as hell. Yeah, too. Like they were just super funny guys, and they were really good.
They were really good. Them. I like them a lot.
Yeah. The Goo Goo Dolls, I'll say too. They're another band I grew up with a lot. I was re-listening to their first album too, like not their first album, but their first hits that has like Name on it and shit. And like it got to the point where like it was getting embarrassing. Like I'd get in the car and it'd be playing, and Ash would be like, "She's like, Jesus, how many times have you listened to like Long Way Down? Like this week, like but." I love their first album, whose name is escaping me. I don't know what it's called. Oh, Boy Named Goo. There we go. It's in there somewhere. But yeah, that album's really good. Got into them a lot. They're another band. Don't like a lot of their newer stuff. Like after the album that has like Iris on it, just don't like them a lot. But I got into them finally. They're another band too. Like I was kind of like, we grew up. Yeah, you hear them everywhere. So I think it finally got. That was more like later college, almost after college, but kind of got into them and started to dig them a lot.
What was Iris was in a movie too, right? Like that song.
Probably. It's probably been in several movies. Yeah. That song was fucking huge.
I think like the music video.
When we grew up, like that song was on all the time on the radio. Yeah. Like all the time.
I like that song too. Yeah. Third Eye Blind. That's Third Eye Blind. Bloodhound Gang. Love
I don't know who that is.
You and me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals.
That's the they have other songs?
Yeah, they have many other songs. And they're all filthy. But they're so good, dude. Like I got into them. Like I like a few of their songs.
Yeah, like a super indie band that I liked a lot in college was a band called Idaho. I forget the singer's name because he's been in other stuff too, but they have some really good stuff. Yeah. Their album Hearts of Palm is pretty good. There's like this song, the intro song on it's called To Be the One. It's like just a super like chill, like you feel like you're a leaf floating in the water. Which is actually think is one of the lyrics, which is super cheesy that I just said that. It's like floating down a stream or something, but that was I got into all their kind of discography and stuff.
I got into this band. Well, they're not a band. I don't know what you would consider them. They're called Rehab. But they're like a country rap-ish type.
What's the song that they had, though? Because I know I've heard them before.
Oh, Bartender Song?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to listen. Yeah. I'm gonna listen back to this episode, and we're gonna have to.
Yeah, we're probably
check out each other's lists.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to do more of these too. Like, I almost want to add like every once in a while we should just do it. Like, I wanted to throw it up to current music if you want to do that because I feel like we've been.
What is it?
I wanted to throw it up some current music. Like, what are you currently listening to? Like, what's been hitting you like over the past year?
Like I said, The Weeknd. I've been listening to a lot of him. I started listening to, and I sent it to you, Greta Van Fleet.
Greta Van Fleet, yeah. I'm glad you turned me onto that.
Yeah, I like them because they have a very...
Dude, they sound like Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
They sound like Led Zeppelin.
They have
some
a
of their songs.
Very old school sound, but it's like with a modern like twist on it. And so actually I've been listening to a lot of them. Like that's, if you look at my Spotify, like it's them. If I'm not listening to a podcast, not listening to the PUDs Podcast, listening to their music, either them, Post Malone, The Weeknd. That's the newer stuff that I'm listening to. And I'm really going back and listening because I just started getting into Metallica. Like, it's fun, like, to go back and, like, start listening to old things. So I got into Metallica, and I've been listening to them, like, Enter the Sandman, and what's the one that was in Stranger Things? Was it Master of Puppets?
Yeah,
like,
Master of the Puppets.
Yeah. So that's, like, the stuff that I'm listening to now. But I, to be honest, I actually don't listen to music that much. I'm really more of a podcast guy, or if I'm with somebody like in the car, like I enjoy a good conversation. But what are you listening to right now?
So like newer stuff, the band Wet Leg, and their album I think is just called Wet Leg, but just really good album. It's kind of like weird. They have like a B-52 sort of vibe. Like they're just kind of weird, punkish sort of rock. I think a lot of people probably heard their song Chaise Long, but that album like super grew on me. Like I was mentioning Porter Robinson, I've still, as far as like EDM-ish stuff, I've been into for a while. And still like I still listening to today. I'm just trying to think what I was like listening to on my run today. Pearl Jam. That's been like the past year probably, whatever, really gotten into a lot of Pearl Jam.
Oh, I was gonna tell you, we were driving the other day, I saw Bon Iver's doing a concert. And,
I didn't even mention Bon Iver or Bon Iver.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it.
Bon Iver.
But they're playing in the Vineyard with like two other, I forgot who the other people were, but it was like names that I've heard before. They're doing a concert in the Vineyard.
Yeah, he's so good too. His name is Justin Vernon, but he's really good.
Yeah,
I've seen him live.
His music is strange though.
Some of it's weird.
Yeah. But I like it.
His last couple albums are kind of weird, but like I think his first album, Forever Ago, is like a great album.
Yeah.
Like that's like if you're into like indie acoustic-y sort of music, like it's just a really good album.
That was like the first random person that you played like one of their songs. I'm like, I know this song.
It was Skinny Love.
No, it was Soon.
Oh, Soon?
Yeah. And it was because it was only because it was in that FX show.
Legion. That's a pretty newer. That's like a newer. Well, it was at the time. Probably a pretty new song.
Yeah, it was like 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
But it was in that show Legion that was on FX.
Yeah.
And I liked it, and I looked up who did it, and then you played it, and I'm like, I know this guy. I felt so proud of myself.
Like, I know who it is.
Nick has good taste in music. That means I have good taste in music because I like this guy.
I'm like, who the hell else was I listening to today? Like the Temper Trap. I always they're kind of more like a pop rock group, not necessarily new.
You're a big Ace of Base fan, I bet.
Yeah, I'm a huge Ace of Base fan. Can't get enough Ace of Base. Oh, EDM, Odessa.
Yeah,
they're really good.
I like Zomboy.
Zomboy? I've not listened to Zomboy.
No. Have you listened to Knife Party?
Yeah.
I like Knife Party. I like what is it? Is it Greyhound? I don't know. I'd have to go through my list.
Yeah.
I just put on the songs.
I know. I just want to like grab my iTunes and like run through it.
Yeah. There's like a random, and you'll see like this guy's like music will pop up now in like a lot of TikTok videos. But there's this like, I don't know what nationality it is, but his name is Vitas. And
I've heard of, I don't know why I know that.
I listen to some of his stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's like I said, it's interesting. I enjoy the appreciation that you have for music.
Yeah,
it's funny, man. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna listen to this, and I'm gonna go through and really like.
I'm gonna go back and just think of all the things I didn't mention. I'm just thinking the Killers album Hot Fuss was like a big one. That should have been a high school one too. With Somebody Told Me, that was another really good album. Had like 5 singles off it.
The Ramones.
Yeah, the Ramones.
You like the Ramones?
I do. Yeah, I'm not like crazy about them, but I appreciate them. Like the Clash and a lot of those other sort of British punk bands.
it's like I said, it's a very, between the two of us, this list of music is kind of like, it's pretty fun.
I was listening to Interpol today too. I don't know if anybody. Interpol, yeah. They're a band from New York.
For everybody, everybody listening, like, go through, listen to the, when you listen to the
recommendations
podcast,
of stuff that we should listen to and talk about.
Tell us, and if there's people that we mentioned that you enjoy, let us know. If there's things that you think we would enjoy, please reach out to us on social media and let us know about it. Like, give you 2 cents. If there's songs that we've talked about or bands that we talked about that are absolute trash, let us know that too. And if there's things that we should check out, trust me, I'm always looking for music to listen to.
Yeah, if you're like, oh, like Nick likes Radiohead, check out this.
Yeah, please do. So give us some suggestions and let us know what you think of our taste in music and basically our childhood, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that
grew up in heavily music household
and can relate.
So yeah, for sure.
And they can relate to a lot of the songs that we picked for like our little mixtapes or whatever you want to call them. So, but besides that, anything else on this music?
I don't know, man. Other than that, maybe we'll have to do continuation sessions if like I listen to a good album or something, or you do, and you're like, we should talk about this. Yeah,
we're definitely gonna think about things afterwards. Yeah. Like, I should have talked about this.
I'm thinking about like Dave Matthews, man, all these other '90s artists, like that. Just that's fine.
We haven't even gotten to the Space Jam soundtrack.
We haven't even gotten to the real meat of the thing.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, you want to go into the descent?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. What's up?
No, just my electrician blows. That's why I'm pissed off about that. Celtics Summer League basketball is happening right now. They traded and to get a first round pick in the draft, and then they traded down, and so they ended up with just picking one player in the second round. I think it's Jordan Walsh is his name, from Arkansas, and I'll be honest, I hated him. I remember watching March Madness, and I'm like, this guy does not belong out here. He is trash. And then the Celtics drafted him. Subtle. Yeah. Celtics drafted him. I'm like, great. We just threw away that pick because this guy's garbage. And I've been watching him play in the Summer League, and like he's better than I gave him credit for. He's like, I think he's like 6'7", but he has like a 7-foot wingspan. So he's like one of those long like forwards that just still needs to develop, but he plays good defense. So check out some of the Celtics Summer League games. I started watching a new anime. I think it's called Fighting Spirit here in America, but I think it's like something Ippo in Japan, but it's like a boxing anime.
What is Ippo?
I don't know. That's the kid's name.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was like a style of something.
Hajime Ippo, I think, is the name of it in Japan, but yeah, it's a boxing anime, and it's wicked good. Like, I love it. So I've been watching that, and that's about it. Hopefully, by the time this airs, hopefully we'll be going into my final inspection on my house, but I doubt it. Everybody's dragging their feet. So, and my sister-in-law gets married to her soon-to-be husband Nate this weekend. So we'll be doing that, and
congratulations, you two. Yeah, from the PUDs Podcast.
Congratulations, Ashley and Nate. And
congrats.
Yep. So I'm one of the groomsmen in the wedding. Jeremiah's the ring bearer. Melissa's the maid of honor, and so it's going to be a good time. So I'll have a full report about that.
Cool, man. Cool.
What do you got?
Yeah. So more of in the TV show section. We just finished watching the new season of Black Mirror. I
love it.
Dude, I didn't like the last 2 episodes.
No way.
No, dude. I think the writing just was shitty on them.
It was my favorite.
I liked it up to then, but I think I like more of the sci-fi ones, dude. Like, not the spoil. Like, I don't want to give anything away. The one with the where she was the werewolf. That was such bad writing. That was like they could have gone. Like, it could have been a cult or done like other things. Like, I don't know, man.
Well, she was a werewolf.
Yeah.
What happens in the episode?
With the actress?
Yeah.
That like ends up running. Well, you think she like killed somebody and runs him over, and then they go to like the creepy camp.
Yeah.
I thought that episode was stupid.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say I liked like 2/3 of it.
Yeah.
There were a couple episodes that I was like,
See, my issue with that episode, I watched that episode with rose-colored glasses because I like Zazie Beetz.
Oh, okay.
She was the photographer in that episode.
Oh, gotcha.
She's like one of my favorite actresses. She was in like Deadpool and
yeah. I mean, I think her acting was fine.
Yeah.
I just think that it just seemed like they could have gone into so many different directions with that, and it was like, oh, she's just a werewolf.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. I thought that this season was the best season. Yeah. Like I really enjoyed this season. I really enjoyed Black Mirror.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I thought the TV show one where they kept making the TV show about her. But that was crazy.
That one was sick. Like, that
one
had a lot of big actresses in it.
So maybe not my favorite, but I was gonna say like I enjoyed it. I didn't think I think they copped out on the writing on several of the episodes, but it's worthy of a watch for sure.
Yeah. I already watched it.
Yeah. For anybody that hasn't watched it yet.
Yeah.
I don't know when
Black Mirror, and if you haven't watched Black Mirror,
the newer the old ones are like some of them are just straight up creepy too. But
if you and like I got into Black Mirror because I was a huge Twilight Zone fan. Like I loved watching Twilight Zone. Yeah, it's the same
concept.
And it's like it's one of my favorite series that comes out. Like, and it's like every couple of years, like they come out with new episodes.
Yeah, there's a is there two movies or is there just one?
I think one.
Because I think
Bandersnatch.
Yeah, because that's the one that we watched together. I think.
Yeah, is it no? Or maybe not. That's like the Choose Your Own Adventure one. That's like the interactive one. That I actually thought that one.
Never mind. I didn't do that one then.
Yeah,
that's not what I was thinking of.
I thought that one was actually going to change the way that like people watched like TV. That'd because be cool. So if you haven't watched that one yet,
no.
So
yeah, like it makes you pick while you're watching.
As you go through the story, as you go through the show, you get to pick what happens, like what the kid does, and it like changes the outcome of the show. So there's like sweet. A million different ways that
it's like Mass Effect.
Yeah, it was cool, man. Like I thought that was a super like innovative concept.
That sounds cool,
but it's probably tough to do.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna be like, well, you did it.
That's a good plug, dude. That's a good plug.
Yeah, I was gonna say Black Mirror and then just other shit. Maybe I've just been recalling the TV shows I watch more, or we've been watching the more specific series, but not so much that I watch it Ash, but I watch it by myself. But Grand Tour is on Amazon Prime, which is the guys from the British Top Gear. Like before the Jeremy, I forget his last name, got not like canceled, but I forget what the hell happened, but they ended up getting dropped from Top Gear. And like it's never been as successful again because I think those guys did a good job. I used to watch the American one a little bit, but they do like they had sort of a series through Amazon for a few years, and then they do like sort of extended like sort of movies, but they just do all sorts of little like road trips. Like they did one where I think recently it was like they went from like one of the like basically around the Baltic Sea, like all the way across Europe, and it was just interesting. And they always have like interesting cars and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm like a closet like car person.
Are you?
Sort of. Yeah.
Hey, I didn't know that.
Yeah, sort of. But yeah, I watched their most recent one. It was pretty good. And now I've kind of gone down the rabbit hole of watching like the older episodes. Probably goes back to like 2016 or something. Yeah. But they're just like funny. They like fuck around a lot, but it's like pretty like they always are like testing out like some sort of really crazy new car or whatever.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were into cars like that.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
And besides that, I mean, you put out like 3, 4 new videos.
Yeah, I did. I'm trying to load up on guitar covers. Yeah. And I just was like Friday night, had some time to kill. So
testing out the new mic.
Yeah.
Testing out the new camera.
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't use this new SM7B yet to any of the video, but I'll probably be doing that shortly. Yeah. I was messing around with that, just recording guitar tracks, but yeah. So those are up on my YouTube.
Nick hikes and plays guitar.
Yeah. So if you like Foster the People or let's see,
Smashing
Pumpkins, and what was the other one I did? I don't remember I already forgot what I was covering. Radiohead. Duh.
Voices Carries on there.
Yeah, Voices Carry. There's a couple other ones. I take requests.
So you can find those at on YouTube at Nick Hikes and Play Guitar.
Yeah, those are good. And I was gonna plug one more because it was another thing I watched this week. But there's a YouTube person I subscribe to called Chris Goes Outdoors that does tons of hiking videos, and the way he films stuff is like fairly impressive.
Yeah.
And he had a newer one out on doing Cannon Mountain, which I think is cool. Because I've done that before, and just the way he shoots stuff, like I found myself too, like with doing the videos, like I'm looking at what camera gear he's using, like he'll say that and stuff.
Nice.
And then there's another sort of naturey one on YouTube called Adventure Archives that they do like 2.5 hour, like 3 hour, like nature, like trips and stuff. And they're just really cool. So I'm going to plug those two people. They're good. If you want to get outdoors on your TV, like
I'm telling you, people do that. My father-in-law does it.
Yeah, dude, they're like, I know he does it to my videos.
Yeah, he does it to your videos. He watches people just go walk around on vacation.
He's watching my winter ones and like cranking up the AC and putting on a parka while he's watching it.
Like, ooh, it's chilly up here.
It feels chilly. Chilly on Mount Monroe in March.
Nice.
Cool,
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, I think that's it. So, you're going to be packing, going up to Vermont. Stoked.
Good luck, man. I hope it's not too flooded.
Thanks. Yeah. I hope nobody else in Vermont ends up in a bad way either with that, because I'd try not to make light of the fact that they just got like declared a state of emergency because for the flooding. But yeah, I am selfishly hoping that we're good to get up there and we don't hit any road closures during there.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
And have a fun wedding.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
And then I go away to Waterville Valley.
Yeah, and then you'll be going up to Waterville Valley.
Going to New Hampshire next week. That's going to be fun. But yeah, so thank you everybody for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
Remember, you can find us on social media at PUDs Podcast on all social media. And bippity boppity, give me the zoppity.
Bye. PUDs Podcast was produced and recorded in Black Hat Studios by the Pud Boys. Find us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving us a review and subscribing. Find us on social media, and we'll see you next time.